Hi everybody. I know we've talked about doing towels and there's still some questions about doing it. So I wanted to take a minute and show you how a towel is done. It's actually not as difficult as you might think. The first thing we want to talk about is the stabilizer that we use for a towel. The stabilizer that you're going to put in the towel is called a perfect stick, and you're going to notice that on your perfect stick you have a shiny side and you have a dull side. So when you hoop your stabilizer, you want your stabilizer to be on the shiny side up, because this is where you're going to place your towel so that it doesn't move. Excuse me. You're going to need to take the top layer of this stabilizer off. You can use a pin, you can use anything that's thin and is sharp. I like to use my seam ripper because it doesn't take a lot of pressure. Draw yourself some X's from one side to the other. Now sometimes, depending on my hoop size, I will drag my seam ripper around the edges. I find that this is a little easier to get this stabilizer to release, especially right there where it's in the hoop. And then very gently, where you've scored your stabilizer, you want to separate this top layer from the sticky layer underneath. And once you have grabbed it, it usually comes off pretty easy. I said usually. Go ahead and take all of that top paper off. Sorry, of course tonight it won't rip right. And make sure that you go around your entire hoop and you get all of it off of there, because you do not want your towel moving while you are embroidering. So now you can kind of hear that this is sticky. So we're going to go ahead and place our towel. I'm actually using a towel that I made a mistake on. So there is already embroidery on this, but we'll go ahead and we'll use it again. Just for example purposes. So the idea that is, we've talked about the nap, is that you want to knock down this particular threads that are up so they don't come out in the wash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this towel and I'm going to place it on this sticky stabilizer where I want my embroidery to be. And in this case, I'm actually working upside down because with my particular machine, I don't like a lot of fabric back behind the arm. That's going to totally depend on your machine and your hoop. So lay your towel over your hoop, and then you're gently going to press the towel so that it sticks to this stabilizer. Now, if I'm doing a pretty big piece on a towel, I will use my vinyl scraper and I'll rub it back and forth several times just to make sure that this is good and stuck, if you will. And then the next step to doing this is that you need to have what is called a heat and bond stabilizer. Now, your heat and bond stabilizer on one side is shiny and very smooth. On the other side, it's bumpy, and you want to have your bumpy side down. Place your stabilizer onto the towel where your embroidery is going to be, and then I prefer to tape this, and honestly, I probably over tape, but I would prefer that it, not shift and catch. Because it might bunch as your machine moves, so I figure a little bit of tape to save a mess in my machine is definitely worth it. So now we're ready to go ahead and we'll take this to the machine. We're going to hoop our fabric, hoop our design, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to let it stitch. And again, remember your knockdown stitch is going to be the same color. I'm going to try and get a close-up shot in here. I don't make any guarantees, but when I'm done, you'll definitely be able to see the knockdown stitch. So here we go. And I hope I'm in focus here. First thing you're going to do is you're going to remove this heat and gun. So usually you can kind of gently move it away from your embroidery. If you have any bigger pieces that get left, you can trim them with a pair of scissors. And what you're going to do is once you get the backing off, you will take this, put a nice light towel on it, and with a warm iron you're going to press that, which is also going to help this knockdown stitch stay down. And you can see the knockdown stitch, that is the white thread that we've talked about, you know, matching your towel and then having that behind it, because then your design blends and it stands out. So next thing you're going to do, hopefully, there we go, is remove your towel from your hoop. You're going to take the back stabilizer and you're going to peel away as much as you can by hand. But don't worry about if you have little pieces that are stuck. Just take a warm, wet washcloth, lay it on there for just, 20 seconds or so, and it'll start to melt that away, and then you can peel all of that away, and you won't have a paper backing back there. So there's our finished project.